future.
Mental became easily the best player in Gears of War esports history.
You know, once you have that level of success, that anything but first has got to drive you crazy.
And for a 4-year spree, Billy had the highest KD. He went into the most fights and he came out on top. You saw his character coming at you, you took a step back.
Everybody knows his exploits in Gears of War.
Mental definitely on one of the greatest runs, I mean, you could say in esports history.
Those boys were unstoppable.
This is unreal!
You can't help think about the brand of Mental without winning.
My name is Billy Putnam. My gamer tag is Mental. I played Gears of War competitively. I have 22 championship wins in that game.
You should have never stood up! You should have never stood up! Keep sitting down, alright? You're not scared of us!
Gears is different when it comes to trash talking. For me personally, I kind of just stay there stone face, and I let my teammates do all the talking.
Get up! Don't ever get up! Ever! Ever! Ever get up! Ever!
Coming to the end of Gears of War 5, Mental was facing a tough decision where he wasn't feeling that passion for the esport anymore, and he had his eyes set on something else.
So yeah, it was a hard decision to quit Gears of War and go to a different game because I didn't have any offers at the time, so I actually had no job.
He wanted to switch to Call of Duty and see if he could become a CDL pro. He did, and actually transitioned into being a starting player on a CDL pro team. So then after CDL came to a close for him, he switched over to Halo.
I knew of Mental from Gears. Obviously, he was like the best of all time, you know? So I kind of knew about him going into Halo. At first, I was like, this guy needs to go back to Gears. Like, he doesn't have it figured out yet. But then he quickly started to just keep grinding and grinding and grinding, you know? He went from a whole bunch of different teammates, Gears teammates to some COD teammates. And then he eventually found Rynoob, and he went from like not the best placements to placing pro immediately with Rynoob.
There has never been a player who's given me a first impression like Billy Mental. This guy was incredible. When I first went into practice with him, I was like, you know, it's an option for us, but it's definitely not our leading option. You know, he hadn't placed pro that season, but we had a lot of time in our off season, and we played, and everything was decided after our first match. Can't really emphasize just how professional he was and how great of a teammate he would continue to be. I heard that first mention of, oh yeah, he's a 22, 23-time champion in Gears of War. I was like, what? No, I just heard he was a Gears of War player. That was definitely an interesting tidbit of information to come after I started teaming with him.
I think what stood out for me in Halo was really the movement you can have. Kind of remind me of Gears in a way, where movement mattered a lot.
And I think just that natural like superstar talent that he has can translate to any game, and I think Halo is just perfect because it does have that movement.
Oh my God! Oh, get him, boy!
Love this angling here from Mental.
Captain Clutch himself, Mental, he's just popped a 3-piece.
Are you serious?
Third bullet through the dome.
Oh! Mental with nades and his oh my God! What?
That could be huge, but somebody's down well. They're gonna clean up one, clean up two.
Mental nearly found the third.
And Mental and two of them, the duo, getting the triple kill.
Mental finds another face. They need people to fight for him like this.
Rebounded! Clean sweep!
It is so unbelievably important to have not only experience, sometimes in a different esport, but to win. The experience of winning, of how to dominate, of how to be the best you can be at something. Having that experience under your belt is so incredibly, I personally think, necessary when you are trying to go into a new esport.
So as a player, for Mental to be a renowned superstar in another FPS title, to then have to start from the bottom and work your way back through, it's been a fascinating journey to watch. And it hasn't been a straight to the top kind of transition. It's been a grind. It's been through the onlines, it's been to LAN, it's been through Open Bracket to pool play, and now he's on a team with Shopify Rebellion who are making it through to a Championship Sunday.
I think he's that player that your team looks to when you want a little bit of inspiration, when you see him ripping faces in the kill feed, all of a sudden you breathe this confidence, you've got this excitement, you start to believe that I can take down an Optic Gaming, a Space Station, a FaZe, and I can put myself into a grand finals if Shopify Rebellion are going to see some success. It will be off the back of something that Mental does.
3 for Islam in the most recent minute. So Rebellion are certainly clawing their way back into this one, and that's one way to get yourself going, to get the team going with a triple kill for Mental.
So Mental being considered one of the GOATs of Gears, which is already an insane feature, to then switch to Halo and be a professional and place, I think he's placed top 3 a few times now, like that's insane.
Making a switch to a different game, I feel like is never easy. So the fact that he's able to catch up with everyone's like really like shows how good he is as a player.
Very few people are able to transition from one esport to another and become successful. But to do it 3 times, that's crazy.
The trajectory that he's on, even though it's been slow, it's only ever been one way, which is up. You would imagine that at some point he will be on that main stage lifting a trophy.
Of course, I have my history in Gears of War, but for me, I want to be looked at as a Halo Pro and a champion in this game as well. I don't really care for second, third, or anything like that. I just want nothing but first. After that, I want domination.
If Mental wins a Halo Major, a title, a ring, I think there's a Hall of Fame for GOATs, and he would definitely be in there.
It's not an if, in my mind, it's a win.
There's been a lot of fans that have been there since day one, from Gears of War specifically, and it means the world to me, and I'm glad everyone's been watching, and I hope I can bring one home for the Gears fam, and you know, I think it's past overdue, so.